Hi, I'm Linda. I'm 42 years old. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Because when I was 26, everybody had given up on me. And they wanted me to stay in an institution for people with mental illness for the rest of my life. Today, I'm here as the founder and developer of From Victim to Warrior. I have 5 employees and myself. We're normalizing craziness and help people back to school or work. I actually have the same amount of year in a mental hospital as I do in school. Luckily, in this case, we're not talking university or a PhD. I only spent 9 years in school. When I was 20, the doctor said to me, Linda, you are bipolar and you need to learn to live with your symptoms. And I promise you, I did. Not only lived with, I danced with my symptoms. I was the best bipolar. I was so good that he gave up on me. I always had a winner mentality. When I started school, I was always working to be the best in my class. I was the best in math. I did everything I could to win the spelling contest. I was taught that nobody remembers a second place, so of course I wanted to be the best. I was like this in everything. I wanted to be the best trumpet player. I actually went to school to be a musician when I got sick the first time when I was 20 years old. But a winner mentality is not only good. When I was a teenager, I was a rebel, and you can figure I was working to be the best rebel. I was so good. I was the first girl in history who went to a special school for rebels, or teenage dirtbag, if you like. When I was in hospital, this winner mentality did me no good. You see what I mean? To be the best is also being the best in the worst. I was the best self-harmer in my unit. Cat Stevens sang, "The first cut is the deepest." Let me tell you, he have never talked to a self-harmer with a winner mentality. I became like the strongest of the weakest. And what made me normal in kind of like this weird context, at the same time made me like weird in this normal context. What made me strong in hospital was taboo and shameful in the society outside. I became a victim in my life. I victimized myself and spent many years as bipolar. I wonder a lot because I like to understand everything. My mom said, if you go to school, you get smart. But if you live, you get wise. Just admit to this. Our brain notices the wrong things we do even more than the correct ones. That's how we're taught from childhood. You remember when you had that math test and you got one wrong answer. Which answer do you never forget? The wrong one. You forget about every single of the 49 that was correct. I like to translate this into life. We learn little or nothing by the right things we do, but hell how we learn from our mistakes. We need to do more mistakes and learn from them, because that's how we get wiser, and also how we embrace the correct things even more. Why is it that if our finest organ, our brain, gets sick, it's shameful, but if you break an arm, we can talk about it? I think I know why I erased my identity when I had a mental illness. Because in psychiatry, they tell you, you are bipolar, you are depressed. No doctor have ever told me, you are a broken shoulder. You are the flu. Now I run from victim to warrior, where we help people become the best version of themselves. I made our training after a colleague said, Linda, you're just the opposite of what we learn in school. You shouldn't function as well as you do. I was like, thank you, I guess. But I know she meant it as a compliment. She was a great nurse. But I thought a lot about this, and I realized it wasn't my mental illness that kept me away from society. It was that I, over time, had gone into this victim role. There is nothing unique about me. So, is it me that's wrong? Or is it what you teach in school? I made a program. I kept the things I liked in the groups I was offered. I took away the things I hated. And I actually added the things I missed. We are a supplement to the traditional healthcare system in Norway. We work in a new way. Our warriors know really well what they're not good at. They know every failure, every mistake they've done in all of their life. But that, at the same time, makes them forget what they can do, the goals they achieved, the things they actually made. This is a problem because they make an identity for themselves that says nothing's possible. We start every program by saying, with an interview, we will say, what you've done before, what diagnosis you might have, we don't care. We don't want to know. Here you are. What's your goal? What's your biggest dream? You are finished with the impossible. Now it's your turn to start the possible things in life. We get a great opportunity to help each one with what's stopping them from being where they want to be. But in the same time, we never fix what ain't broken. Our experience says that the biggest problem for people are shame and a lack of hope. That's sad, because you know, shame is the only feeling there's no medicine for. Through our program, 19 of our 25 warriors are back to school or work. When people ask me, who's your target group? I answer, people. There's a small edge between winning and failure, between crazy and clever. There's small margins on who gets on the right and the wrong side of society. The things that are common for our warriors are that they became victims in their own life, and they're stuck because of it. Now we just started a new offer where the government is our client. We are helping people between 18 and 30 years old back to school or work. We have 20 persons per time. We share them in 4 teams with 5 on each team. We start by giving them the same amount of money given by local businesses. And we say, now you're going to make a budget and a timeline for 6 months. You're going to buy and fix 5 motorbikes. One of them is yours. But you don't know which one, because we're having a lottery in 6 months. That means you need to help each other to make the 5 best motorcycles on your team. What you're going to learn are team building. You're never stronger than the weakest link. You always need to strengthen the weakest link. The weakest link are never a person, but it can be communication, lack of belief in yourself, if you're always late, and things like that. They need to learn out who is good on what, and that every role in the team are important. One day in the garage, the other one in the office. Every day, the same focus. playing each other good. Building mental muscles to be the best version of themselves. Working like this will show them that everything is possible. I'm a proof of that. They told me that everything in my life is impossible. It's impossible for me to live outside an institution. It's impossible for me to work. It's impossible to talk to the government. It's impossible to get well from a mental illness. Now I live with my boyfriend and his 20-year-old daughter, and our sheep and pigs, and the ox Ferdinand, of course. Now I not only work, I hire people to work with me in my company. Now the politicians invite me to meetings, advisory boards, and I even was the one the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health called. They wanted me to join them on national TV to tell about a new offer. Now I'm living without medicines they say I was going to take for the rest of my life, and hey, I'm still living. I work with showing people that nothing's impossible because I'm possible. I got used to putting my identity as crazy, and when somebody say, "Are you crazy?" I'm one of the few people that can honestly say, "I certainly hope so, because that's my job." At the same time, through this year, I realized I'm more normal than I thought. I'm just about crazy enough to be normal. We work with the basic things and human things. And that's why I say we normalize craziness and help people back to society. The answer I give most when our warriors have a problem, I'm really sorry to say this, but this is perfectly normal. You see, I'm a girlfriend, a founder, a neighbor, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a boss, and I'm a colleague. I'm a trainer. I am Linda. So why the hell does the doctor say I'm bipolar? Because I think I'm just crazy enough to be normal. Thank you.